Have you ever wondered why, no matter how many times we're told that we are born for greatness, we always end up doubting it? Or how everything always seems to intensify and magnify the moment we are closest to breakthrough, just as it is always darkest right before the dawn? It is no coincidence that just as we step into discovering who we really are, and just as we become excited about having direction in our destiny, there always comes a voice to dissuade us of the things that we've been promised. But don't think it's strange that we fight battle after battle after battle. The battle reminds us that in fact we are at war. When we think of war, we may think of what we see in the movies or in the history books. We may think of what some of us have lived through or experienced, the armies, the time the world has suffered, where chaos and destruction were all around. But this isn't that type of war. This is an internal war. We don't fight alongside other armed soldiers. These are individual battles that each of us must face in our mind. Remember, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. This war goes back thousands of years. This is a war that Jesus himself, the Son of God, had to fight too. And just like us, Jesus had a destiny. As a young boy, he had to discover his calling. He had to learn that he was in fact the Son of God, born to bear the sin and the weight of all the world. And all the voices around him, they continually said otherwise. He was just a boy from Nazareth, they said. Nothing good comes from there. He was the child of a poor carpenter. He was seen at the time as nothing special. But Jesus knew better. He grew and he learned how to silence the voices to quiet the storms. He knew the serpent lived under his feet and that he himself belonged to his Father in heaven. He may have been born in a barn and raised in rags, but he recognized that his destiny was not defined by where he started. He was a king in disguise, destined to change the entire course of history. Words came to test him, but they could not tempt him. Where evil persisted, he prevailed. While certainly not easy, his strategy was simple and perfect. If it was not the voice of the Father and didn't agree with what the Father had to say about him, he shut it out. Now, we all have naysayers in our own lives. We all feel the doubts. At times, each of us will question our purpose and our abilities. But just like Jesus, however, we too can rise above the voices of fear and failure. We can't always choose our circumstances, but we can always choose our focus. And like Jesus, we have the ability to narrow our spiritual ears to the voice of the Father, the voice of the Word of God, and shut out and shut down the noise pollution of life, the noise of the enemy. Jesus has already won the war. Now, let us finish off every remaining battle in victory.